Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to make a carrot cake out of polymer clay. So I'm going to start out with a ball of golden clay and I'm going to roll it out until it's one thin, even piece. Once it's the thickness that I want it to be, I'm going to use a large round cutter to slice out a round piece that's going to work as the base of our cake, so like the little plate. Then I'm going to take some vanilla colored clay and I'm going to flatten it out and then use a smaller cutter to cut out 2 round circles that are going to be the layers of our cake. I'm going to take the first layer of cake and put it down in the middle of the plate, and then I'm going to set these pieces aside so that I can make some icing for the middle and the top. To make the icing, I'm going to take some of the Sculpey Bacon Bond product and mix it with just some regular white clay. I'm using clay instead of pastels just so that it creates a really thick look when I'm done mixing it. Partway through mixing it, I could tell that it was really not wet enough, so I definitely had to add a little bit more liquid clay to get it the right consistency. I think I add a little bit more in the future as well, and that's just kind of trial and error. I just add a little bit until it's exactly the consistency that I want. I like the consistency of the frosting now, so I'm going to take that first layer of our cake and put a little bit of frosting in between the 2 layers before taking that second layer and putting it on top. When I put the second layer on top, I realized that I didn't have enough frosting in the middle, so I'm just going to be lifting up the side of that first layer, adding icing just to the outside edges so that it looks like the icing is coming out and it's been filled all the way in the middle. Be a bit of a messy process, so you'll probably get a bit of icing here and there on your fingers. That's what soap and water's for. I'm finally happy with the look of the icing in the middle, so I'm going to add the icing on top now. I tried going in with a toothbrush here to add a little bit of texture to the cake pieces that are still visible, but then I went in with a needle tool instead, figured it would be easier, and I'm just adding a bit of texture to make it look a little bit more baked, a little bit more messy, a little bit more kind of gushy and yummy and ready to eat. Once I'm done texturing, I'm going to go in with a soaked Q-tip, just using some rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to get that extra bit of icing that's been left on the plate and some fingertips and dust and stuff. I'm just going to wipe it off with the soaked Q-tip here. process, I wanted to add a little bit more more decoration to the plate. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I rolled out a long coil of clay here so that I could wrap it around the plate and give it a bit of an edge. Later in the video, I actually end up taking this off. I just decided creatively that I didn't like the look of it, and I found something else that I wanted to do with the plate. At this point, I'm happy with the cake and the plate, so I'm just going to push it off to the side and I'm going to start working on the carrot topping decorations. So I'm taking some orange clay, translucent clay, and a little bit of brown, and I'm rolling it together just to give it less of a pigmented look. And I'm rolling them out into small little carrot shapes. Now I'm going to take some light green clay and I'm going to use that to make the little leaves of the carrot. I'm just making small leaf shapes, so one end is like a little bit pointier than the other end is rounded, and I'm just adding a little bit of texture, starting off with my silicone tool, but then going in with a needle tool a little bit later, just to make the indents a little bit more pronounced there. And then I also go in on the sides, I press down a little bit just to give it sort of that ruffled carrot top look, rather than such a round, clean look that other leaves would have. Using the needle tool, I'm just going to gently put those carrot tops on top of the cake where I want them, and then I'm going to put the carrots right on top as well. So this is where I changed the look of the plate. I decided I actually wanted to add a little bit of like kind of beads to the plate to make it look like some frosting droplets there rather than the outside edge. So I'm just adding some Sculpey Bacon Bond to the plate so that the little beads are going to stick. And I start putting them on one by one and then using the silicone tool just to push them together a little bit, giving it a cleaner edge and a nicer look. And here I'm going to actually take off that entire edge. I just didn't want it on there at all, so I just peeled it right off. And I'm going to add 3 little beads just beside the carrots to give it a more balanced look on top of the cake. I'm adding an extra leaf here just to give it a little extra pop of color, a little bit of green, and then I'm going to go in with that needle tool and just add finishing touches like some texture to the carrots, a little bit to the carrot tops, but making it look less smooth and a little more natural. At the end here, I decided I did want a little bit of a fancier edge, so I added some texturing just by making side kind of lines all the way around the cake to give it sort of like a ruffled, kind of folded, braided look on the edge of the plate, just to make it decadent and really pretty. going to take a chalk pastel now, a bit of an orangey yellow color that matches the beads, and I'm just adding a little bit of that chalk powder on top to give it some final touch, as though there was sort of like a cinnamony kind of powder that I was dusting on top. And this is the finished look for my carrot cake. I just baked it in the oven and I added some UV resin to give it a final gloss. I didn't turn it into a charm or anything. You can definitely add an eye pin if you want to and make it a charm. And then just keep in mind that you can decorate your cake and your plate any way that you want to. Just be creative, be imaginative, and have fun with it. Thanks for watching!